Hey guys, welcome to History Behind the Warrior, and today we're going to be talking about Guile from Street Fighter. Now, before the events of any Street Fighter, Guile was a trainee in the United States Air Force. He would one day befriend a man called Charlie Nash, who was his superior officer, asking him to teach him his unique form of fighting. Guile was able to learn Charlie's form of fighting. However, due to his hot temper and his lack of proficiency in the art, he was unable to master it as well as Charlie had, which explains why Charlie can throw a single sonic boom with one arm whilst Guile has to use both. Now we're coming to the part of the video where there's a few retcons and there's a lot of kind of continuity clashing. Now, due to Street Fighter V, we actually learned that Charlie Nash dies in Alpha 2, which more or less retcons Guile's appearance in Alpha 3, as Guile's main purpose of appearing in that game is actually to help his friend Charlie Nash destroy Shadaloo. Due to the fact that Capcom hasn't actually officially given us a proper answer, I can't really say what's canon here, but I'll be talking about Alpha 3 anyway, as I think it's a very good story for the Guile character. Now, during the events of Alpha 3, Charlie Nash would disappear from the United States Air Force. Guile would learn of this and try to find his senior officer and best friend. With assistance from Chun-Li, Guile was able to find Charlie. Charlie had been on the trail of Shadaloo and managed to find one of their main bases in Thailand. To ensure the end of Shadaloo, Charlie Nash would go inside the base. When the two dug deeper within the base, they would come across the Shadaloo leader, M. Bison. During this time, they had also put bombs around the Shadaloo base. Now a fight would break out, with Charlie Nash pinning down Bison, allowing Guile to escape when the base exploded, sacrificing his own life to ensure that Guile left safely. But the continuity, like I said, is very questionable, so I take much of Alpha 3 with a grain of salt. Guile then appears in Street Fighter 2, where he is one of many fighters participating in M. Bison's tournament. Guile would enter the tournament with the sole purpose of destroying M. Bison, deserting his own wife and daughter to pursue his own vendetta. This was due to Guile learning of Charlie Nash's death by the hands of M. Bison, wanting to seek justice for the honor of his friend. But due to the vagueness of Street Fighter 2, we are all left unaware of how far Guile participated in the tournament, and whether or not he actually did get his hands on Bison. Now, after Bison's apparent death in Street Fighter 2, Shadaloo would more or less go underground, and the weapons division of the organization would actually take over. One of their agents, Juri, would begin attacking a theme park. Guile alongside Chun-Li and Cammy would come across her. This would lead to Chun-Li being severely injured by Juri, although Juri would leave when Cammy and Guile did appear. The two would later come into contact with her once more when she was attempting a raid on the old Shadaloo base. Cammy would attempt to save many of the Shadaloo doll sisters that were captured by her. Guile would act as a distraction to stop her, but eventually she was able to overpower him with her feng shui engine iron plant. He's injured rather badly, but does appear later on in the OVA, seeming quite okay. Although Shadaloo is seemingly dead, Guile is restless and still believes that Charlie might be alive. This might also be due to the fact that Charlie's body was never found upon his death, which does make Guile raise many questions, including the corruption of the organization he works for. Seeking more answers about Charlie Nash, he would enter the Sin tournament. Over the course of the tournament, he would come across the Frenchman, Abel. This was due to Abel recognizing Guile's sonic boom attack, since only he and Charlie knew it. Guile believed that Abel had information on Charlie's ultimate fate, and immediately began questioning him, but Abel wasn't reluctant to share this information, as Guile could possibly be a spy, and the two begin fighting each other. Although the winner is left unknown, it's implied that Guile had actually beaten Abel. Guile later appears in the Street Fighter 4 story when Chun-Li is in trouble. Chun-Li was trapped inside the old Sin base, as it had been destroyed by Vega. Guile, with the assistance of Abel, were able to rescue her. And after these events, Guile would visit Charlie's grave, placing a beer bottle on it, saying he'd buy a drink for his old friend. He says to the grave that although Sin's plans have been foiled, he knows that this isn't the last we see of Shadaloo. Now, Guile does appear in Street Fighter V, having his own very small prologue, where he's seen saving Abel from Fang, who's trying to poison and kill Abel. Luckily, Guile is strong enough to fight off and defeat the Shadaloo agent, having him flee from the scene. After a quick analysis of Abel's injuries, Guile would tell him not to be so reckless. This would then turn into a flashback where he remembers Charlie teaching Guile his fighting style, in which he remembers Charlie telling him not to get too heated up in the middle of battle or he'll lose focus. The two would have a very friendly sparring match, with it ending in a draw, which goes to show that Guile still remembers many of the lessons that Nash has actually taught him. Now, back in the present day, Guile and Abel would travel to an abandoned Sin laboratory where they would find Juri, although she was able to escape before they were able to retract any information from her. Later, the two would discover Shadaloo's next plan, being called Operation Chains. But before they're able to learn anything proper about the operation, the lab begins crumbling with the falling debris crushing Abel. With Guile's assistance, the two are able to escape the facility. The two then travel to China and are seemingly ambushed by Vega. Luckily, due to Guile's extensive training, he is able to overpower and defeat Vega. After defeating the Shadaloo agent, Guile is seen becoming more of a mentor towards Abel, as he is seen telling him that remaining cool in the heart of the battle is the only way that they will survive all of this. And that's it for Guile, guys. I hope you liked the video, and it's going to be very interesting to see how he interacts with Charlie Nash. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm very de-energized in this video, as I'm literally recording this after a 12-hour flight from Thailand. Well, hopefully you guys kind of got something from this video, and I was able to do Guile at least some justice here. Now back to Guile, guys. Tell me in the comments below, how do you think Guile plays in Street Fighter V? Do you think he's good? Do you think he's bad? And what other stuff do you think that could be added to his character to help expand it? But anyway, as always guys, here's a preview for the next Tekken episode. So many people have requested for an episode for Hwoarang, and I thought, hey, I covered his rival Jin, so it seems only right that I cover Hwoarang as well. I also want to let you guys know that I'm starting a new series and it's coming out tomorrow, so definitely stick around for that because it's going to be kind of cool and a little bit topical. But as always guys, please comment, like, subscribe and share this video with everyone you know. Take care, and I will see you guys next time.